Hi everyone! So I'm sitting here with my iPad Air M3. I can finally say I love having an iPad. This wasn't always the case. Honestly, for the first couple of months of having my iPad, I wasn't even using it. I probably used it like once a week because I just wasn't sure what to do on my iPad and what apps to use. But I think I finally figured out a couple of things I love using my iPad for, so I thought I would share. Please share your best iPad tips in the comments. Okay, so the first thing I've started doing every morning is writing a to-do list. I used to always do a to-do list on my MacBook, but I really miss that feeling of writing down a to-do list on paper, checking off boxes with a physical pencil. But I absolutely hate writing to-do lists on paper because I always end up losing them and have to remember to actually take it with me because I want to be able to check my to-do list from anywhere. So what I started doing is download a template on my iPad and using the app GoodNotes to make a to-do list. So here are a couple of examples on what that could look like. What I love is that this is such a more creative and fun way for a to-do list compared to what I think we've all been doing, a to-do list in notes. I feel like this is often how we see to-do lists, just a boring checklist, but it really doesn't have to be this boring. So if you want to find good templates, you can honestly just search on Pinterest. You can also find really cute ones on Etsy. The next app I'm probably using the most is Notion. You have probably heard about this app before. I've also used it on my iPhone. It's really not as enjoyable on your iPhone. I love it on my iPad and you can customize all the pages, so I'm just gonna share the ones I'm using the most. First we have this 2025 life planner. I just update this for every year. It's basically just a super aesthetic life planner. We have my personal pages, my yearly goals, wellness, travel plans, and then we have productivity. So here I also keep a daily planner, like a to-do list, and also weekly and monthly planner. I also have a study planner here where you can write down all your exams. Then I have health and wellness. As you can tell, I basically keep track of my entire life in Notion. I don't know what I would do without it. I feel like I would be so disorganized if I didn't have this. So if you need to plan anything, your life, a project, or like schoolwork, Notion is perfect. The next way I like to use my iPad is as a book or a reading tablet. So if you're like me and you don't have a Kindle, you can actually just read on your iPad. So you can actually download the Kindle app. What's really good is if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get a bunch of books for free on the Kindle app. I know nothing beats the feeling of a real physical book, but also you have access to literally hundreds and thousands of books in one tablet. Your bag will be so heavy if you need to bring an iPad and a book. So I just really prefer reading on my iPad. The next way I use my iPad is for studying. Specifically, I use it to be able to focus better. If you're anything like me, you know your phone can be really distracting when trying to study just by having like all my social media apps so easily accessible. But I think I solved that problem on my iPad. I have this thing called a study mode. So it's basically just a focus mode where if you turn it on, my entire iPad layout changes to a study setup. So I customize my homepage and my lock screen to be fully in study focus mode, and then it jumps right into my study page where all my study apps are. So when this is activated, nobody can disturb me and I don't get distracted. So I would definitely recommend setting this up if you haven't. I love editing on my MacBook, but sometimes it's really nice to also be able to edit on the go with the iPad, especially if I'm at a cafe because I usually don't bring my MacBook to a cafe. I like taking my iPad to cafes to answer emails, plan my weeks in Notion, just watch YouTube videos to relax, and pick up calls. The only problem is cafes can be very noisy, so I need a pair of earbuds that can handle this. Very few earbuds get both sound quality and call quality right, but the Nothing Ear 3 delivers both, really exceeding my expectations. No matter if you're on a call in a noisy cafe or walking through a busy street, the smart mic system cuts out background noise and wind, so the person on the other end only hears your voice. Let me show you what a big difference it makes. Okay, so I'm currently at this cafe. I love working at cafes, but it is obviously very noisy with people talking all around me. So I just want to show y'all the difference when using the super mic feature. So I'm now walking in traffic. It is really loud and I have to take a call. We now have the super mic on. I can join a meeting, have a call with a friend, or any important call without any loud noise in the background. I think you can barely hear the traffic. Whether it's wind, traffic, or cafe chatter, the Nothing Air 3 really works in any environment. The super mic technology in the Nothing Air 3 outperforms even the AirPods Pro 2 when it comes to keeping your calls clear. They literally make my life so much easier. I don't have to wait until I get home to take my calls. I can be way more spontaneous and take them when I'm on the go or while having a nice matcha at my favorite cafe. When it comes to audio, I think music hits different when it sounds this good. The Nothing Air 3 features a 12mm dynamic driver and has high-res audio support. And if you like to tweak your sound, the Nothing X app lets you fine-tune everything just how you like it. Adjusting the EQ is super easy and can be done even on the go. It's perfect for your favorite fall playlists. Just click the link in my description to get $20 off your purchase. You do not want to miss this offer. What I used to edit on my iPad is CapCut. I think CapCut has so many good features. You have so many fonts. You can also download your own custom fonts. It's basically a really good beginner app because you have a bunch of templates already downloaded for animations, cute effects, cute filters. So you really don't need to be good at editing to produce good videos in CapCut. I mainly use it for my short videos just because I have limited storage and also it's an iPad Air, not a Pro. So I'm not really sure how it would handle super big files for long form videos. Another thing I use, which is pretty obvious, and that is the split view for multitasking. So either you could do the setup that's been around for a long time where it's 2 pages, which is really good for studying if you're reading an article and then you want to take notes. But now in iOS 26, you can also do this really cool setup where you have multiple windows open and you can just drag them out to make them bigger or make them smaller. You can have so many windows open at the same time. Now going back to GoodNotes, one thing I also love using it for is making a vision board. So what you can do is just download pictures from Pinterest, and once they're in your camera roll, you can just hold it down with your pencil and then just drag it into GoodNotes. So this is really cool for creating collages. If you've ever seen those outfit inspo pictures on Pinterest, this is how you can create those. So here are a couple of examples of what you can create. There's really cute and motivating vision boards, which is perfect for the new year. The next app I use is Sketchbook. I use it for my YouTube thumbnails. If you've seen those really cute thumbnails with little handwritten text and just cute symbols, this is an app you can use for that because it's free. It's super easy to use for beginners because I'm not really into drawing. I just want a simple drawing app. Also, if you're into painting or honestly just want a relaxing hobby, doing digital oil painting is actually really fun. I sometimes do this when I'm bored, or if you're really stressed and need something to distract you. This is a really good idea because you don't need any tools. You don't have to run to the store and get actual materials. You have everything on your iPad. I think it's really satisfying. So this is the app I'm using. Another really fun and cute activity you can do on your iPad is book journaling. Again, if you're not really into journaling on paper, you should definitely try this. If you read a bunch of books but then don't really take the time to reflect over those books, this is really perfect because you can just write down your thoughts about the book, how many stars you give it. It's especially really cute if you are a little group of friends reading a book. You can all do this together. I'll put some examples here of what book journaling can look like. Such a good way to actually remember the books you read. Something else I do on my iPad is read long PDFs and documents. So the reason I like doing this on my iPad instead of my MacBook is because I can highlight with a pencil. So if there's something I want to go back to, like an important paragraph or something I didn't really understand from a contract, I can just highlight it with my pencil. I feel like it's a much easier way than reading through contracts on your MacBook. This is kind of related to the last one, but when you're editing on the iPad, one really big perk you have compared to the MacBook is you can use your pencil to draw little animations on your video. It is super easy on the iPad, so either you create a really cute intro text. Something else I like using my iPad for is solving math equations, and it doesn't have to be hard math equations. It can literally be if I'm budgeting and I just quickly want to get an answer. Instead of going into the calculator app, I go into the notes app and just write out the equation. The notes solves it for you. This would have been so useful when I was in school. I loved using my pencil to write down like math. I just feel like your brain takes in the information better when you're actually writing with a physical pencil. Then you would always have to go into the calculator app to solve the problem and then go back into the notes app. Another coloring app is the Late coloring app. I think this one's really good if you don't really like drawing but you just want want a relaxing activity that involves drawing. I sometimes do this when I'm just bored, but I don't want to scroll TikTok. I just put on a good series and then I'm coloring. So again, you don't have to draw anything, you just basically color in different templates. And then lastly, I have a really cool hack. You can use it for studying. So basically in your notes app, you can turn a word into a sketch if you just circle around the word. I had no idea this feature existed. So if you circle around a word, like say the word a star, the notes app is automatically gonna generate a star image. But the cool thing is if you have written a whole text in your notes, say for example some study notes, and you just circle on a blank area at the bottom of the notes, it's gonna generate an image based on your entire text, which is pretty cool. One thing you can use it for is presentations. So those were some of my favorite ways to use my iPad. As I said, I feel like I'm getting a lot better at actually using it. Now I actually pick it up every morning. By the way, let me know if I should make this into a series because there are obviously so many other ways you can also use your iPad. I will also link my keyboard case in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!